I'm KK.
I'm Kristen.
Together we are
K&K Crochet.
And today is Christmas Extravaganza, day number 5. Welcome back. And so today we're going to talk about another gift idea that you can do for someone in your life, and especially your book lover, okay? So this one is one that I was wanting to do something a little different, and I'll kind of explain what I did first after I show you first what I did. Okay, so this is a bookmark, and it's got beads on it, and so it could be a fidget. My beads are a little wonky. I don't know what I did that made them not line up correctly. They're lined up, but they're not standing up like I want them to all the time. But that's okay. It's a fidget, so it really doesn't matter. And it's a bookmark, so they can play with it and, whatever. So I'm going to read to you what I did. I know that's kind of boring, but I'm going to tell you to give you the basics because I didn't follow a pattern. So this was an H hook. It is Premier Yarn. I used a 2.5 hook to add the beads, and then crochet the bookmark with an H hook. And I think what I did is I would crochet up to the point of the bead, and then I would take my hook off the loop, off the hook, and then I would put my smaller hook through the bead and pull that loop through the bead, and then I would put my bigger hook back through the loop and go back to crocheting. Does that make sense? Put your smaller hook through the bead when you need to put it on, pull the next loop through it, and then keep crocheting. So that's how I put those on. This is actually the Salvation bookmark, the Salvation colors. Like if you were ever in Bible school, you know the Salvation bracelet. Black is for sin, red is for the blood, white is for forgiveness of sin, blue is for, I think blue is for heaven, green is for growth, and gold is for the streets of gold. Mm-hmm. And so, and there are scriptures, to go along with that. And so that's what I was doing mine with. I thought that was a neat reminder. And also, if you're somebody who likes to talk to, that looks purple now.
It's white.
It looks purple to me. If you're somebody who, likes to tell others about God, then if you have this is a good reminder to walk you through the Romans road of salvation. So that's basically what that is. So let's see. I chained 6, single crocheted in the second chain from the hook all the way across. Chained 1 and single crocheted across. And I did that. I made 7 rows, and on the 8th row I single crocheted in the first and second stitch, and then I did what I told you about taking it off to put the bead on, and then slip stitched after the bead was on and single crocheted the rest of the way across. And then I chained 1 and single crocheted back and forth and kept doing that and repeating that until I wanted to put a bead. So I put a bead every other row, I think is what I did. Every 1, 2, hold on. One, 2. Okay, every third row. I had to make sure. Kind of hard to tell sometimes. So every third row I put a bead, and then when I got to where I was done with the beads, I added the same amount of rows at the bottom that I had at the top. So crochet down as far as you want, start adding your beads, and then you could do them every other row, you could do every 4th row. That's up to you. This is just what I did. It doesn't matter. This is a very you pattern. You make it yours, right? So it's just a basic explaining what you would do. You crochet back and forth, single crochet as wide as you want to make it. Maybe you want it wider. And then when you get to the point where you want to put a bead, you put a bead in, and then you single crochet back and forth, and you get to the row you want to put a bead, you put a bead in. And I just did that back and forth until I was done, and then added the same amount at the bottom. And then I put a border around it. I slip stitched around the edge to make the border. But you could single crochet, you could do whatever. I just like the way it makes the little V's on the side like that. I thought that was pretty. So that's what I did, and it's just a very simple, quick, and easy one of those. You could make 60 to 100 of them really quickly, and you don't have to do the beads if you don't want to. You could just do, back and forth, and you could sew on a charm, or you could sew on a button if it's for, children old enough to have buttons, and adults. And you could put all kinds of stuff on there, right? You could add a little patch if you had a little iron-on patch. Do whatever makes you happy. You just do whatever makes you happy to decorate it. You don't have to add beads, but I have a lot of these beads, and I was just trying to work them up a little bit. And so you can just sit there and they spin. They still spin even though they're crocheted in, and it's just a fidget. And I thought that was a neat thing to do. All right, so now let's do our Christmas trivia of the day. All right. Whose eyes are all aglow in the Christmas song? Whose eyes are all aglow in the Christmas song? Let us know down below what you think the answer is. Let us know what you think about making a bookmark with beads or charms or buttons or whatever you want to make it with.
I think it's very neat.
Yeah, and you could make it with buttons and even turn it into a bracelet. If you put a button there and chain right here and leave a hole, you can make this big enough to make this a bracelet, and then you'd have a fidget for your arm. And if you want to do the Salvation one, it would be a reminder, or you could do other ones and make a fidget. All right, so that's all we have for today. Don't forget to be kind, because
you don't know anyone else's journey.
And join us tomorrow for Christmas Extravaganza, day number
6.
Bye.